Hello children, welcome to Nischals Smart Learning Solution. My name is Banala Jaya Raj, biology teacher. So today we will discuss class 9 Nischals Integrated Biology textbook, and that book is having 182 pages and also 11 chapters. So now I am reading each and every chapters that are there in our Nischals Integrated Biology textbook. Cell instruction function, plant tissues, animal tissues, plasma membrane, diversity in living organism, sense organs, animal behavior, challenges in improving agriculture products, and adaptations in different ecosystem, soil pollution, biogeochemical cycle. Like that, there are 11 chapters are there, and already we discussed the key concepts which are there in our second chapter, that is plant tissues. So there we discuss different types of cells which are present in the plants. So we discuss protective tissues like epidermis, also cork, and we discuss different types of tissues which are present in the plants, and they are epidermal tissues, ground tissues, and also vascular tissues. So epidermal tissues are helpful in protecting the plant from mechanical injuries and also from infections, and also they prevent the loss of water from the plant body. Ground tissue consists of three types of cells, and three types of cells are present in ground tissues, and they are collenchyma, sclerenchyma, and parenchyma. So parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, these are the tissues which are forming the bulk of the plant body. So here the bulk of the plant body is with, that is with ground tissues, and we also discussed that are vascular tissues. So vascular tissues are with xylem and phloem tissues. So xylem and phloem tissue, they form as vascular bundles, and this xylem tissue is useful for the conduction of water and also conduction of mineral salts, and also providing mechanical strength to the plant, and phloem tissue is also called as bast, and this phloem tissue is useful for conduction of transportation of food from leaves to the different parts of the plant body. So here we discuss there are three types of tissues in plants, and they are epidermal tissues, ground tissues, and also vascular tissues. And also we discuss the meristema tissues. So meristema tissues are three types, and they are apical meristems, and these apical meristematic tissues are present at the tip of roots, at the tip of shoot system, at the tip of leaves, and also at the tip of branches. And these apical meristems are useful to increase the growth of the plant bodies. And also lateral meristems are present at the sides of the stem. They increase the girth of the plant body. And intercalary meristems are the meristems, and these meristematic tissues are present at the base of the leaves and the base of internodes, and these tissues are useful for the growth of the leaf and also the growth of the internodes. So these are called as, and these tissue permanently divide throughout the life. But other tissues which are formed from these meristematic tissues, so meristematic tissues are called as parental tissues, and these parental tissues undergo division, and they give rise simple tissues and also vascular tissues. So here simple tissues are permanent tissues, and also vascular tissues also called as permanent tissues. They lost the ability to divide once they are formed, and they are parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, and these are the simple permanent tissues, and these simple permanent tissues are present in all parts of the plant body, and the bulk of the plant body is with the ground tissue, and the ground tissue consists of parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, and other type of permanent complex tissue is xylem and also phloem. So xylem vessels are useful for transportation of water and mineral salts, and also providing mechanical strength to the plant body, and phloem tissue is called as a bast, and this tissue is useful for transportation of food from leaves to different parts of the plant body. So children, all these are the key concepts we observed, we studied in the chapter 2, that is plant tissues. Now on the interactive flat panel, you are observing their heading, that is complex permanent tissues. So I told you complex permanent tissues are of two types, and they are xylem and so phloem tissues. Xylem. So here you see the presence of xylem, wood or phloem or bast. So here you are observing. So I underline with a red mark. So xylem. So xylem forms wood. So here wood is giving mechanical strength to the plant, and they protect the plant from strains. And you see the plants of phloem. The other name for phloem is bast. So in examination, you may ask a question like that. So write the mechanical tissue of the plant and which become wood. You need to write what xylem tissue is providing mechanical strength and it forms as wood, and phloem tissue is called as bast. So what tissue of the plant is called as the bast, and the other name for bast tissue is phloem, and this tissue is useful for transportation of food. So we discuss xylem and so phloem, and now we need to discuss here. You are observing xylem and phloem are both of them are called as conductive tissues. Why? Because they are transporting, and these tissues are helpful in conduction of food materials and also water and minerals. So that is the reason these tissues are called as conductive tissues. And there you see they are also known as vascular tissues, and these vascular tissues together to call as vascular bundles. They form as a bundle. So this vascular bundle consisting of xylem and so phloem tissues, and xylem wells are useful for transportation of water and some mineral salts, and phloem tissue is called a bast, and this tissue is mainly useful for transportation of food. And now you are observing the presence of xylem. So children, here you are observing, so figure number 209, xylem, and there you see the structure of the xylem is given, and the xylem tissue is having what? Tubules, tube-like structures are present, channels are present, and xylem tissue consisting of four types of different cells. Four types of different cells are present in xylem vessels, and they are there. You see tracheates, xylem trachea, xylem parenchyma, and also xylem fibers, and they also called like xylem sclerenchyma. These are the four types of tissues cells which are formed, which are present in the xylem vessels, and they are formed from what? Same origin but performing the same function. So here this tissue is mainly useful for conduction of water. So there you see xylem tracheates, xylem trachea, xylem parenchyma, and also xylem fibers, and they also called as xylem sclerenchyma. These are the four types of cells which are present in xylem. They form as a bundle, and they are performing the duty of conduction of water and so mineral salts from ground to the root system. Root system are having xylem vessels, and these xylem vessels they pass through the stem branches, and finally they may reach the leaves and other parts of the plant. In this way, they are serving, and they are providing, and they are transporting minerals and also water to different parts of the plant body. And here these are called as xylem tubes, and there you see tracheates, xylem vessels, xylem parenchyma, xylem sclerenchyma. Xylem sclerenchyma is also called as xylem fibers, and except there you see Except xylem parenchyma, all other cells of the xylem are dead tissues and they are made up of lignin and they are having thick walls, and these thick walls are providing mechanical strength to the plant body. So except xylem parenchyma, all other elements are dead and bounded by a thick lignified wall. Tracheids and vessels, they are called as tubular structures. So here children, in xylem vessels tubular structures are present and four types of cells are present in xylem vessels. So they are tracheids, trachea, xylem parenchyma, xylem fibers or xylem sclerenchyma, and these cells are useful for transportation, conduction of mineral salts to water. And now we need to understand about functions. So what are the functions performed by the xylem vessels? So already we discussed xylem vessels are made up of lignin and they are lignified. Except xylem parenchyma, all other cells are dead cells and they form as tubes, and this tissue is useful for conduction of water and so mineral salts. And there you see the main function of the xylem is to carry water and mineral salts upward from root to different parts of the shoots, hence also called as water conducting tissue. Since the walls of the tracheids, vessels and sclerenchyma of xylem are lignified and they give mechanical strength. So their walls are lignified and they are having thick walls, and these thick walls are giving mechanical strength to the plant body. They form as wood. So here many dicot plants are woody plants. And again you see the parenchyma stores food. So here parenchyma is the living tissue. It is having thin cell wall, and parenchyma tissue is useful to store food. It also provide, it also helpful in lateral conduction of water in xylem. So here these are the functions performed by xylem. Children, we discuss the structure of xylem and the functions of xylem. And now we need to discuss about another, that is a tissue that is called as phloem. So this is the phloem. There you see figure number 2.10, phloem tissue is there. And phloem tissue is also having four types of cells, and they are, and there you see on the board. So you see sieve tubes, sieve cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers and companion cells. So here you are observing the presence of sieve tubes, and here they also contain sieve cells also, and companion cells are present, and these sieve tubes are accompanied with the companion cells and they are associated with companion cells. And you see presence of phloem parenchyma. Phloem parenchyma is a living tissue. Here in bast, in phloem, all the tissues are living tissues. But in case of xylem, only xylem parenchyma is living tissue and other type of cells are non-living and they are dead, they form as wood. But here in case of phloem, and there you see all cells are living cells, and there you see phloem fibers also present here, phloem fibers, and they are having thick walls, cell walls. And now you need to understand about the sieve tube. So children, you are observing this is a sieve tube. So tube like structure you are seeing, and this is sieve tube, and many sieve tubes are present, and these sieve tubes are slender, thin, and they are perforated and they are having pits, and these sieve tubes are associated with the companion cells, and these sieve tubes are useful for conduction of food. So here glucose molecule they used to pass from the leaves to the other part of the plant body. So that is about what sieve tubes, and also sieve plates also we can see, and they are having pores, holes, pits, and on either side of these sieve tubes we can see the presence of companion cells. And again you see companion cells are living parenchyma cells laying on the sides of the sieve tubes. Here you see sieve tube, already I told you, and have close cytoplasmic connections. So here sieve tubes, companion cells, and they are with close cytoplasmic what connections with each other through pits. Again, phloem parenchyma are thin walled living cells, and they are with phloem parenchyma. And phloem fibers are thick walled and fibers with the simple pits. So here we need to understand about what are the functions of phloem. So the other name for phloem is bast tissue, and this phloem tissue consisting of what sieve tubes, sieve cells, pits and companion cells and phloem parenchyma, and these sieve tubes are useful for transportation of food which is prepared in leaves, and that food is transported to the storage organ where the food is stored. From again from that part also these flowing vessels they used to transport food to the all parts of the plant body. So in this way phloem vessels are useful for conduction of food materials in plant body. So here you see phloem transport conducts photosynthetic prepared photosynthetically prepared food material from the leaves to the storage organ and later from storage organ to the growing regions of the plant body. And now we need to understand about protective tissue. So here children, in this video we discuss vascular bundles in detail. We discuss the structure of xylem vessels and the type of cells which are present in the xylem vessels and their functions, and we also discuss the phloem tissues and the type of cells which are present in the phloem. And now we need to discuss about other type of tissue, and there you see the heading, that is epidermis. Epidermis. So here the term epidermis indicating that these are the layers present, and this is the layer that is present on the upper part of the plant bodies. So here epidermis is seen all parts of the plant body. So epidermis is present on stem, epidermis is present on roots, epidermis is present on leaves, and epidermis is present on flowers and also other parts of the plant body. So here epidermis is of a single layer, and epidermis cells are elongated and flattened, and they are living cells. Children, you need to understand about that epidermal cells are not dead cells, and epidermal cells are living cells, and they consisting of the content that is present in parenchyma tissues. So they consisting of cytoplasm and also all other cell content, but these tissues are elongated, flat, and intercellular spaces are completely absent. So here the tissue, so that is epidermal layer that is present on the leaf, on the upper surface and the lower surface of the leaf, they consisting of some gaps, some pores, and the tiny pores, and these tiny pores are nothing but stomata, consisting of stoma, helpful in gaseous section, also transpiration.